Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is, do you hear me? Yes? Okay. My name is Geoffroy Fivet. So I work at RAS for many years, 32 years. I had the chance to have different positions in engineering, in maintenance, in plant management. And nowadays I'm coordinating the maintenance at the group level. So I will start to present LHOIST. LHOIST today. So we are a mining company. So we mine the limestone in different quarries in Belgium, in France, in Germany, in the US, in Brazil. And we transform the limestone in lime. So by burning the limestone in a big kiln, we transform the limestone in lime, and then we get finally the product, the lime, that can be used directly to our customer, or we process the lime to get some special milk of lime, hydrated lime. So we are a company, heavy industry, so it's a little bit like the cement industry, the same kind of tools and equipment. We are, like I said, we have many locations in Europe. We started, it's a Belgian company, a family company, so we started actually in Belgium. Then we grew to France, to Germany, then to Spain, to UK, to Czech Republic, and then we crossed in the year 80 the Ocean Atlantic to go to the US, and then we went also to Brazil, and more recently we are in Malaysia. So we have, like you can see here, we have 165 seats and terminals. We have sales in 80 countries, and we have 2 research and development centers. So the customer, it's a B2B industry. So the main customer, this is the steel industry. Those are the main customers, and then we have other customers either in construction, in environment, or in paper industry. So we are well diversified with our products. So I would say when we have some crisis, we can go and surf off the wave, not to be too much affected. So we are 6,600 employees with 60 nationalities. And like we say, people make the difference. So we decide in 2020, with the COVID crisis, we decide to launch a maintenance excellence program. We call it Magellan program. We saw at that time that the volume were dropping. We see also that the maintenance cost was not dropping like the volume. So we had an increase in the maintenance cost. So we were a little bit afraid to see if we were investing the right amount of money in the right tool. And we didn't know, like we say, we had some good CMMS, SAP, but this CMMS was mainly used for accounting, not really to manage the maintenance on the good way. So people were putting the cost of the maintenance in cost center at the end, and not using really SAP like it should be used as a CMMS. So, and we decide, I think I will go to the next slide because it will be, so it was, are we doing well? Are we investing money in the right equipment? We didn't know exactly. I hope it will work. I don't know. I will, or I can, no. I would like to go to this slide, but I don't know how perhaps I can do like this. Yes, okay, it worked. Thank you. So the PF curve. So, and like we said before in the previous presentation, we wanted to be sure that all plans were assessing the criticality of the equipment and that they were doing the right maintenance. We didn't know about that, if they were trained. We know also that the cost, you have the maintenance cost. When you do a bad actor analysis, you have the maintenance cost, but you have, and it is probably the most important part, the production losses also, which had to be taken into account when you are making this kind of analysis. So I go back. Then we know also that not using SAP, the CMMS correctly, will not help us to reduce the execution time. And we know that by a better preparation, here, if you increase your preparation time, you will decrease your execution time. And you use much less people there to do that than here. Here you have a lot of people in execution. Here you use less people, but you tend to reduce the execution time. So there is this kind of video. I don't know if people know about this Formula 1 pit stop. It was, I hope it will work, it was in the year 50.
Holland comes in for a pit stop. Time to refuel and change tires.
And we try to show this kind of video to the top management so that they understand what is really the preparation. So you see the replacing, cleaning the windows.
Time for coffee.
Time for coffee.
The tires are changed to black. A crewman polishes the windshield
And they are very pro.
67 seconds after he stops.
57 seconds. So it was. And this one, I guess that you will, you know that. So 3 seconds.
No
So-
more coffee, eh?
So, and the goal is not, the goal of the maintenance excellence is not to hire hundreds of people to make the maintenance like for the Formula 1, but really we try to explain to the top management also that investing in a good planner will help to reduce the execution time and to reduce the downtime. No. I don't know how I can do. I need to. So, I'm a little bit lost. No, but we can. I do not. Yes, okay. This one. Sorry, animation is not. So this one, yes, I can go there. Okay, so, and again, is the maintenance workforce skilled, equipped to work on core activity? The spare part, we talk about the spare part management and inventory. We have seen that before the COVID crisis, our spare part inventory was also increasing. And it was really due to we were too reactive. And being reactive, you need to have the spare part in inventory. And really, in some plant, we have, it's like a supermarket. You will find everything in your spare part warehouse. So we are not managing the spare part on the correct way. And at last but not least, about digital application, how to leverage digital application. We had this SAP CMMS, but like I said, we didn't use correctly, and because the people they need training to use SAP, they need more training. So the idea to leverage this digital application is to increase the knowledge of the people and to ease also the use of SAP. So this is also one of our goals. Then I can, yes. No. Okay, again, work order management for us, it's mandatory, and we have seen that we have many plans across the world, in Europe, in the US, in Brazil, and we see that the work order management in SAP was not correctly used, but when you have a good work order management, you can really build the maintenance strategy to avoid failure, to be sure that you have the right information in the right place. And with a good work order management, you can also perform some very good bad actor analysis and manage the failure to avoid repetition. So the goal of the Magellan project is also to be sure that the work order management is well in place in all plants, but it's a lot of work to train the people and to make this CMMS used by the people, by the technician, to be sure that they enter the right information at the right moment. We have many plants where they use this CMMS with standing work order, open work order during all the year, and they put all the costs in the same work order. And that's for us an issue. So this program, Maintenance Excellence, we have different foundations. We have the maintenance strategy, we have the maintenance organization, the work order management, like I said, subcontractor management, spare part management. The mobile maintenance is one topic, and we have had a new one that we see that more and more is important. It's the cost control and budget ambition. When you implement this kind of program, maintenance excellence, you spend money in new software, you spend money in consulting company, and finally the top management is expecting payback result. So financial payback, financial result. But to capture those results in maintenance, it's very difficult because we work with budget, yearly budget for each plan. And most of the time, the maintenance manager try to keep the budget anyway. Even if you improve the maintenance process, if you know that you will have some financial result, they will build a budget based on the previous budget without capturing the savings, because you can also over-maintain your equipment if you want. You can do both. There is always good reason to make maintenance. So we have had this new topic, and we want to challenge a little bit more the plan according some metrics. Equipment replacement value is one of these metrics, to be sure that the plan is at the right level in terms of maintenance cost. So it's also a topic for people. So a program like this, you need people to deploy the program. You have seen we have different regions. This is LHOIST Latin America, this is LHOIST Asia, this is LHOIST North America, this is LHOIST France, LHOIST South Europe, LHOIST Central Europe, LHOIST Germany, LHOIST Western Europe. So we have many divisions. And to implement this program in those different regions, you need people to be your contact, to deploy the program at the right level, to be sure that the training are given. So you need people, and you can see also at North America, we have also, it's a big region, so we have also change agent to steer the program in the different regions. So anyway, you need people to steer the program. This is just to give you an overview about the rollout. So We started in 2022 with a pilot in a plant in Germany. We launched a pilot where we try out a little bit all the different value creation area. And then we implement in different regions in parallel this program with the support of the change agent that I showed you previously. So we are in 2023. We will continue in 2024 and certainly in 2025 and 2026. So it's not a short time. We try to do it very quick with a lot of consultants, but we have seen that it is not sustainable for the plant to bring many consultants in the plant. We change a little bit our way of working to make it more sustainable and make it LHOIST. So to train LHOIST people so that those people can deploy the program internally. Again, one important topic is IT. So to deploy such a program with SAP, with new tool, we will speak about SOA tool in terms of planning, scheduling, but also in terms of mobility. I just listed a little bit those different topics we are working on: maintenance strategy, work order management, and you see that in many topics you have IT is highly involved, and you need to work closely with the IT department to be sure that you have the right tools and that you will have also the right training for those tools. So this is, like I mentioned, to accelerate the capacity, and because we want to increase this planning, preparation, and the scheduling, and the fact that it should be adopted by the plant. In some plants, there is no planning, no scheduling. They do the maintenance on a day-to-day planning. So they go on the site and they decide what they will maintain. So we need to push to more planning, to more scheduling. And then we think that new tool, like the one we have chosen with SOA, will help the people to make it simple. So this is one way, it's the scheduling and the planning, and another way is to make it also easier with mobility and the plan. Most of the plan they want to have, we have more and more young technicians, young people. They are used with smartphone, tablets, so we decide also to invest more in those new tools to ease the creation of notification in the plan, the creation of work order, and also in inventory we are also implementing new tools to scan the spare part and to have easy inventory and work order allocation of spare part. So this is in a nutshell the program that we are working on at LHOIST to harmonize, to harmonize the different process. We have seen that we have a lot of different maturity in different plans. We have seen also, thanks to this program, that we have very good plan, very well advanced plan, but those plans started this kind of program a long time ago. So I would say in the US they are well advanced, and they started 15 years ago. In Europe we are less mature, and this is probably due to the language issue, to the fact that we have different countries, different culture. So the adoption of the maintenance excellence is much more difficult to promote. So I think I'm done.
Geoffroy.
I don't know if you have some question or if you...
I propose for the questions we have a Q&A session at the end with Geoffroy and my colleague Mohamed. we'll take all the questions with this presentation at the moment. All right? Yeah, you can. Thank you. Okay, this brings us to the next part of our presentation. Oh.
Just before starting my part, I just want to show you a few screens because we saw a slide, just a short video on how it looks like in terms of interface. I just set up a short video, show you a few examples. Here you can see the way the application works. You see some dashboard with some indicators where you can try to dive into it, analyze immediately some views, click on it, get access instantly to the content because it's very operational, obviously. And from that standpoint, you can select, and this is a scheduling exercise that you can see, you can change the status. And everything that you see here on the screen is actually in real time connected to your SAP system. What you change here is automatically changed in your SAP system. And if I change something in SAP, it will be changed in my screen either. So it's totally transparent in both ways. Here I'm opening the Gantt. I'm seeing in the middle what is the activity, below is the backlog, above is the human resource, the workforce. You can start doing drag and drop if needed. In the current version, you can do that totally automatically because it's based on some intelligence embedded where you can have recommendation and not doing the drag and drop. We manage drag and drop for emergencies or arbitration, but most regular tasks can be automatically proposed by the system in the Gantt and it's populated. You see that's really real life situation at LHOIST. The detail doesn't matter because this is really LHOIST data. But just give you the flavor of example and not just a screenshot. And here we are really diving into it. I see work order with several operations and so on and so on. So I can stay on the screen for a while, but just to give you a flavor of what it looks like. Always starting from analytics and then diving into information. And as we are working with customers like you and definitely LHOIST, this is really something down to earth. We all have to be focusing on innovation. We need to think about what we just heard about BIM as a story about the 5.0, but on the other hand, we are talking with people that's really down to earth. I managed several workshops and meetings live on site with customers. I was involved with Geoffroy at the early stage, really early stage at LHOIST in Germany. That was the first pilot site. The guys are really maintenance guys, technician guys. So don't dream too far. Fine to show me something fancy, but it has to be really matching what I'm looking for. So that's a little bit the challenge we have as SOA people. And if you look to my title here is innovation and adoption. So we, of course, can always dream. That's our job. We have to generate new version. We have to be matching the market trends, but we also need to assure our customer that the adoption is there at the end of the road. If I go to top management, explain what Geoffroy just explained, most of the topics I'm going to share and that he shared will be understood from top management point of view. But then we come to the next part, which is the adoption. How can we help people on the shop floor use this, take profit of it, improve the process, and gain something, whatever it is. We've been facing a big organization in Silicon in France, which is worldwide, but the site was in France, near Lyon. And I was in a meeting talking about what Geoffroy was mentioning about the mobile app. Mobile app is a commodity. Most of us have children or nephews, and none of them is living without a smartphone. So convincing people taking a train for 4 hours that they need to use a mobile app on a device sounds a little bit tricky, but I had in front of me people that were totally against the idea of being managed by a big brother. Because now with mobile app, they will know exactly what I'm doing, what I'm doing, where I am, and so on and so on. We won a big deal in Switzerland with a company in the public transportation. The first issue they were raising is that they have a lot of technicians, they don't know where they are. We manage a massive project in Copenhagen airport. The biggest issue from top management, where are my technicians? They are in the airport, they are here. I know them physically, but where are they? What are they doing? How can I improve what they? So this is adoption, because I would say top down is very easy. Then we come to the shop floor. So it's always a little bit innovation and adoption balance that we are facing. So not going too far, too fast, but still bringing people with us. So if you look to the change management, some background, we know some challenges. This is a market analysis. This is not SOA, but it's totally related to our day-to-day activity. we see that 30 to 50%, which is one guy on two, will not get back to the application if he doesn't understand it, if he doesn't see the value. And that's quite tough. You can, in French, we have a nice expression, you can bring the horse to the river, you cannot oblige him to drink. So this is exactly the same talk. We come, we tell, we do workshops, we do training, we have online training, we have e-learning modules, very embedded, very intuitive, in your language, your flow, with your role. So we are doing quite a tough job to bring the most important part of the technological value. But at the end, we need to be sure people are adopting. And so if you take these numbers, you see that in the targeted community, we have between 16 and 20% that will be open to test it or to try it. So targeting those people immediately will create momentum. In LHOIST, as an example, Geoffroy can testify, they took the total opposite. We start with one site in Germany that we're not super open to start with this kind of technology. So we worked with them, we spoke with them in German, we invest time, we did workshops, and finally they were very happy. Now they are totally fine with the product and they are consuming. If you look to the adoption rate and all related topic, most of the time people think about advantage because we think management, P&L, but the people on the shop floor tell about compatibility and complexity. Then they go to the advantage. Compatibility with my job. This is something that you draw in your lab. I'm not using what you draw in your lab because it doesn't match what I do on a daily routine. If you don't understand maintenance on the shop floor, you cannot explain them the mobile app. Even it's commodity today to use a mobile app. And we make it very, very intuitive and easy. Still, we need to convince people. So that's about change management. It's quite a journey. If you look to our approach, how do we abort that? So change the mind of people, it's take time. Time is important. What Geoffroy was mentioning, it's about the timeline above 1 year. We have customers that said, yeah, we start tomorrow, next Monday it will be up and ready. Yeah, it's about top management. We are talking about different communities. And those communities can be represented by several profiles. So how do we abort it? We abort it with adaptability. We build from day one a platform that can totally be adaptable to your business needs. And I will go a step further. We have a lot of international groups, LHOIST is amongst them. They have, like he just said, in the US, in Germany, in France, in Belgium. We've been doing workshops around the world. They are not the same. All carrying the same flag. LHOIST, they are not the same. And I can give you plenty of other SOA People customers where we are talking to sites, and the site is not working like the other site. We used to do so. We've been acquired. We are not really part of the group. We have another way of working, or we are even doing another business within the group. This can also happen. So adaptability is crucial. One platform, one source, one SAP environment, with different screens, different needs. So that's something that needs to manage through a companion role, not just dropping something. It's really working closely with the customer. One of the difference we had, and it was a chance, with the German site, the first site in LHOIST group, it was we had a consultant that speaks German, sitting next to the guy, trying to understand. One of the massive frustration we had back and forth was one of the guy in Germany used to work in a certain way that was not the most efficient way. But it's tough as an external to say to someone that has 20 years in a company, no, you should not work like that. It's tricky. So being as a companion, not as someone imposing something. And then we need to have some user onboarding, something that can run 24/7 online in your own language. Not something that you need to call me and then I need to come and take time, I'm not available, and so on and so on. Something that can be automatically available in your own language, that can guide you through the flow that you need to do. You ask a question to the system. We heard about AI, we heard about ChatGPT. The system needs to work like that. I ask a question, I need to create a work order. Maybe I don't do that every day. Maybe yes, maybe I forget. I just type. I need to create a work order. The system takes the hands and guided you how you need to create a work order. If you don't do that every day, it can be plenty of other things. Reservation of a tooling, mass scheduling, change of operation, change of workforce, capacity management. All those daily routines need to be managed in a very online way. And finally, customer portal. We need to have one digital place where everything is consolidated. So you have to find your way out without us. If we are successful, it has to run without us. Exactly the same story with the Gantt that you just saw in the screenshot in the video. We say that to customer, we are totally SAP standard. If we are successful, the biggest KPI of our success rate, we don't open SAP anymore. If we are successful, you don't open SAP anymore. If you still have to dive in SAP, we miss something somewhere along the way. That's how it works. And so that's about how modestly we try to work with customer hands in hand to make it a success. If you look to the functional coverage, I'm not going to explain you the platform because that I will need a long session because it's really feature rich, and I'm proud to say that. But if you go to the flow, we always start with compelling. Compelling means there are some elements that are imposed. Human resource, most of the time not in SAP. Competences, skills, not in SAP, most of the time. Security, all this access governance, mandatory. Document management, it's a massive story. SAP is not a content server, so how can we use that efficiently? It's a part of the topic. And finally, we have the smart equipment. We heard the BMS introduction about sensors, about all these IoT topic. This is also something smart equipment. We have to remain agnostic. We are never involved within customer decision which equipment to acquire. That's not our job. We're here to consume the relevant outcome of any given smart equipment, whatever the brand is, whatever the product is, whatever the sensor is. And then we have the specificities. When you talk to a customer, we never found twice the same customer. Everybody's agreeing, we should implement best practice. Then we start drilling into it, yeah, but we are not that general, we are quite specific. So we used to work this way, blah, 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 and then we have to respect that. It's tough, but it's a part of our challenge. Then we come to the maintenance flow, from initiation, gatekeeping, preparation, scheduling, and execution. What you heard from Geoffroy, I never influenced any of his slides, he's here to testify. He talked about preparation. 99% of the project that we start, preparation doesn't exist or is close to zero. Why? Time consuming, doesn't see the value, let's dive into scheduling. And then I can give plenty of examples where we consider the opposite. Gatekeeping and preparation are the most critical steps in the flow. If you don't have quality time and tools that helps you save time in gatekeeping and preparation, your scheduling will look like something that you need to have daily recovery, daily correction, and so on and so on. That's time consuming. And we heard Geoffroy talking about his story. And finally, the execution can only be reduced if what you just said, preparation, gatekeeping, is done correctly. So you can work on mobility, you can work on desktop, tablet, whatever. This is totally, today, very classic. Then we come to the audience. We need to build those screens, one platform, one data source, one single version of the truth, but we need to adapt, like I just said earlier, to the audience. And those people need to consume sensors, spare parts, traceability for field services, or geolocalization of equipment if I'm a subcontractor, timesheet for a subcontractor, checklist, because this is something becoming totally a standard when it's come to execution. I need to understand what you do in which sequence, and I need to track and trace what's happened. Mapping, we have more and more customers asking us for situational awareness. I want to see the plant. I want to share my view of the plant as a maintenance to the production people. They need to understand what's going on in the production line. This is about sharing information. And all this flow, all those components, and I can have plenty, it's really a summary, are related in real time to your subsystem. Otherwise, if we start extracting, downloading, or maintaining data outside SAP, we are not successful. Like I just showed you in the video, everything I do live in Ready4 Asset Management is immediately changed in SAP if I'm the right in authorization to do so, of course. Continuous investment. We are growing. We are launching this initiative since 2008. We are 2023, so quite a journey. We are continuously growing, investing. We're even today investing more than ever. One of the biggest challenges we see, and it was a summary from Wim and Geoffroy, what should we maintain and replace? I give you a really basic, funny example. Public transportation company in Belgium, and they have bus, tramway. I don't think they have subways, but they have bus and tramway. And we had a chat, qualification chat, talk, and I asked him this question: when do you decide to change? They cannot answer the question. Where their core business is to make those bus and tramway rent and move people from A to B. This is a challenge question. For us, it's part of our DNA because we come from data, we come from SAP, like explained by Petra in the introduction. So what we build, and we are continuously building, we build what we call embedded intelligence. So we see that people are overloaded by tasks. How can we make their lives simple or easier? So embedded intelligence, we see guided analytics. SAP is data rich. We come on top of SAP, like I just said. If we are successful, you don't open SAP anymore, it works backstage. But guided analytics is absolutely mandatory. And finally, intuitive UX. Because with all the respect I have for SAP, it's not intuitive. And when you give SAP to technician on the shop floor to complete a work order, then it becomes just messy. We have customers around Europe where Excel was more rich than SAP because it's more easy to fulfill an Excel than SAP. That's what we call at SOA People the Excel anarchy. And that's why we are investing massive time, because intuitive UX is not an easy job. It sounds basic against AI, whatever. No, it's really a tough job. It's a job in itself. And how do we do that? We generate automated scheduling. Instead of having people managing the job, you work in an airplane mode. System work backstage, manage spare part availability, resource availability, maintenance window, and generate automatic scheduling. Then you, as a planner, manager, supervisor, you will validate it, accept the recommendation, change manually if there are things that need to be changed, and you can release the workflow instead of starting from scratch. Management by exception, it's exactly what I said. System will pinpoint, flag work orders that are not realistic or need subject to discussion. It's up to you to decide how it works. In terms of intuitive UX, as we are 100% master data oriented in SAP, real time, we need to build a screen that is totally tailor-made, that can really match your needs. So when we do workshops, when we start a project, the only thing we need to understand is how you work. And we'll build a bridge between what we have and how you work. And leave it the best of both worlds. That's how it works. And these tailor-made capabilities help us really quickly get in touch with people on the shop floor and reassure them that we can have a very light screen with 3 buttons, if it's 3 buttons that is needed. And then maybe, like Geoffroy was explaining, maybe next year we'll add 3 other buttons and we move to 6. We will not start with some heavy screens that sounds like we are working in NASA or whatsoever. Certainly for people that used to work on paper or Excel. Guided analytics, we come with KPI libraries. We have what we call the market best practice. It's a recommendation. We don't impose anything. It's good to know that you start immediately with the best KPI used in the maintenance on the market. That's help you to save time. And also everything regarding the initial question, maintain and replace. When it comes to analytics, we have performance and cost that's become absolutely critical. Asset by cost is a challenge. How can I generate a cost by asset, including workforce, downtime, planned downtime, unplanned downtime, what we saw in the slide of Geoffroy regarding the production loss. This is really something that needs to be raised immediately and quickly, monitored by alerting, push intelligence, and so on.